Hi, everyone.
Good evening, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Good evening. Good evening,
Good
ladies
evening.
and gentlemen. And it gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to this launch ceremony of Google Educators Group, Kolkata, India. Today is a very special day as we're also celebrating the 75th Independence Day of India. And I take this occasion to urge all educators to break free from all their inhibitions and realize their true potential as teacher transformers. Education technology, EdTech, plays a very crucial role in today's day and times in facilitating teaching and learning. And Google is giving us the tools and the platform to collaborate with educators all over the world to inspire, share, learn, and empower. In the words of Mahatma Gandhi, let us all be the change we wish to see in the world and make our students independent and self-reliant 21st century learners. So let me take you through the slides. And joining today are an eminent group of educators who have created a niche for themselves in the world of education. So our special guests for today, we have Mr. Matthews, Ms. Ruchi Sengar, Dr. Narjeet Kaur, Ms. Maan, and Mr. Nathan. So I would now quickly request everyone to say a quick hi to the audience. Matthew, sir, over to you.
Hi, hello, everyone. Nice to be here.
Dr. Narjeet.
Yeah, hello everyone. I am Dr. Narjeet. I'm administrator at the GHPS Kalkaji, New Delhi, and I'm the leader for GEG Punjab in Amritsar, and I'm a Google trained trainer, Google certified trainer, and I hope to be innovator very soon. If people on the screen allow all those things, and of course, it's great to be here. And we are really happy back here in India. We are really happy with the way GEGs are growing in India, the way educators are transforming. As Innovator was saying, it is very, very important for us to transform the way we are teaching, the way we are doing. And I hope with the strengthening of the education community, with the strengthening of the community that we all belong to, we shall be able to see that change very, very soon. And joining us is Rushali here, guys. In comments, she's going to have her launch from 5 to 6. Next hour, she's launching her new GEG. So, yeah.
Over to you, Ruchi, ma'am. Ma'am, you're on mute.
Ruchi, ma'am, let us unmute her.
Okay, so what I want to say is that I'm a learner, and like Sudipta suggested, that I am still in the process of breaking free from my inhibitions. But the very fact that I'm here makes me feel confident that I am going to travel the path pretty well. So thank you very much for having me. And I hope people learn when they look at an oldie like me and figure out that it's not that difficult to do. To handle technology. So great. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Over to you, Maan.
Hi, good evening. My name is Maan Guzman. I'm joining you from Metro Manila in the Philippines. I'm a GEG leader from GEG Ortigas, also a certified trainer. And happy Independence Day to everyone in India.
Thank you. Over to you, Nate.
Hi, everyone. Feeling very privileged to be here. My name's Nathan Gildart. I'm originally from Canada, but I'm coming to you from Japan, where I've been a GEG leader for 7 years, actually. And I'll tell you more about myself a little bit later, but I will say happy Independence Day. And I'm a history teacher. I have studied and taught Indian independence, so I appreciate that very much. And I have been to India for a couple of weeks, and I absolutely loved my time there. So congratulations, and thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. It's absolutely lovely to have you all here. And it makes my launch ceremony all the more special. And moving on, so I officially announce the launch of GEG Kolkata, India.
Many congratulations, Sudipta.
Thank you. Thank you. Quickly, a little bit about me. I'm Sudipta Chatterjee from New Delhi, which is the capital city of India. I'm a passionate English teacher working as PGT English at Delhi Public School, Arkipuram for the past 17 years. My qualifications are Bachelor of Arts, Masters, MPhil in English, and a Bachelor of Education. I'm a Google Certified Educator Level 1. I'm also an AIEF, All India Educators Forum resource person. I speak English, Hindi, and Bengali. My interests are theatre, public speaking, singing, and dancing. So the vision that I have for GEG Kolkata, India, the aim is to spread knowledge and learning all over the country and the world, creating history. So a big shout out to all educators, teachers, trainers, mentors to join hands on this common platform to share, learn, and grow. Let's revolutionize education through technology. Let's transform the world for our students, and let's all gear up to be a teacher transformer. So that's going to be my tagline, hashtag teacher transformer. Now, next, I'd like to talk about somebody who's very special, somebody who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way, a true leader who inspires and empowers. And that's my principal, Ms. Padma Srinivasan of Delhi Public School, Arkipuram. Padma ma'am is somebody who makes sure that she motivates people and makes sure that everybody excels. And today, I have a very special message from Padma ma'am. So I'm going to quickly read that out to you. And she says, I would like to congratulate Sudipta Chatterjee, who's an English teacher at Delhi Public School, Arkipuram, New Delhi, for her role as a Google Educators Group GEG leader from India, representing the city of Kolkata. Benjamin Franklin rightly said, an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. I'm sure this initiative will be a fruitful investment that will inspire more teachers to adopt and integrate technology in teaching, which is an essential mandate under the National Education Policy of India, NEP 2020. I wish Sudipta all the best for her future endeavors, and I'm sure that she will be successful in realizing her dream of empowering teachers all over the world. So thank you so much, Padma ma'am, for your encouraging words, and I hope to live up to your expectations. Right, moving on, I would now like to call upon Mr. Matthew K. Thomas, who is the founder of AIEF, All India Educators Forum. Over to you, Matthew, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much. They say technology is a journey, not a destination. The relation between education and technology is bidirectional. It's never unidirectional. So we have a lot of teachers in the past who've been doing the same stuff over and over again, and they were very happy about it. And 2 years back, everything changed. And in came in a lot of organizations who help teachers in building confidence in terms of technology. And I'm happy that groups like Google Educators groups have come forward in training our teachers, and which was the need of the hour. Otherwise, a lot of us were in doldrums at that point of time because we never used it before. So the National Education Policy was also released almost at the same time last year in 2020, after 35 long years. So the two things combining together has paved a great way of fostering ahead technology. I would say that just like we had the green revolution and industrial revolution, I think now it's the revolution as far as technology is concerned, because things are changing at such a fast pace, at an unbelievable pace. What I did 2 months or 3 months back, you have so many other tools, enhancing or better tools than what we used 3 months back. And when we were in the schools in that platform, when we were taking offline classes, the same thing we used to do year after year, probably with small changes. But what education has changed in such a drastic way because of technology, so many tools, unbelievable tools. I'm sure that if you take a session every day, you can go on and on for days and years, and it will never end. So the learning is amazing. So technology is going to impact education in multiple ways, and this forces us, in fact, to become tech-savvy teachers. So technology is going to impact in multiple ways. We've already seen a big rise in knowledge of artificial intelligence, about virtual reality, machine learning. Coding is going to be introduced in schools, which is amazing. I mean, if you see the Americans or the European countries, the coding was, most of the big companies headed by Bill Gates or anybody you take, they all learn coding in schools, and we've never exposed to all these coding and other things in schools. So it's an excellent move that has come up with the NEP. And blockchain, smart board, some schools were using, but what about the rural areas? They don't have access to it because there is an investment. The main thing that I liked about the National Education Policy, which has come up, is they have set up a National Education and Technology Forum, the NETF, which is going to provide a forum to provide free exchange of ideas on the use of technology to enhance learning, not only learning, about assessments, because everybody is confused. What is the best way to assess students? Everybody is concerned about whether they are cheating or whether they are taking external help, whether they are using internet or there is an external help. So what are the best forms of assessments that is available to us? Planning and administration. I think these are some amazing things which the National Education Technology Forum is going to take up. And to remain relevant in this fast changing field of education technology is the need of the hour. So we are getting outdated so fast, Sudipta. And what is important is that I need to attend courses at such a rapid pace. We always used to listen to these guys who are in this computer field. They said that, we have to keep, just like doctors, once you learn, it's not enough. And teachers were relaxed pretty much, I think. Now we are also in the same position. Keeping on updating ourselves is the need of the hour. A lot of e-learning content has been uploaded on Swayam and on the Diksha portal, and many of us have contributed that in a very positive way for others. So sharing of resources, not only within schools, which used to happen probably earlier, but now it's being shared across the world, which is so amazing. And we couldn't even think about all this probably a few years back. So this e-learning content, which is now available on the Diksha portal and Swayam, is such an amazing resource pool where we can get practically anything in a matter of few seconds. The NEP is recognizing the importance of advantage of technology. They themselves, CBSE, is conducting so many programs, training workshops, and 50 hours of training is not a joke, along with the our regular curriculum or the regular classes that we're taking. So teachers require suitable training and development. That is the foremost thing. Availability of tools is one thing, and then training in all these online tools to become effective and efficient educators is the need of the hour. So I'm glad that you have launched this. GEG is growing rapidly. Every month there is a launch, or probably now today itself you are having 2 launches. Congratulations, Roshali ma'am, if you are hearing this, on the launch of your Mumbai project. And I'm glad that Google is one of the largest platforms. It is not one of, it is the largest platform, and they are promoting education in a big way. So I'm glad that big companies like Google are coming forward and supporting our educators in spreading all this. So one major thing is that, we had built a pedestal around us in the olden, in the offline classes. There were good teachers, there were average teachers, right? And what happened in 2020 was that we all came to ground zero. Nobody was an expert at anything. And we are suddenly exposed to some forums which we have not even touched. Frankly speaking, I didn't know about Zoom or Microsoft Teams. Everything had to be learned. Creating of PowerPoints, all these things we learned in the past 2 years. And we cannot assume that teachers who are very good in the offline mode are good online educators too. That's a different ballgame altogether, right? So some adapted very quickly, some required training, and that is why the importance of training. So today you are launching this. I'm sure that in the coming days I'll get a lot of updates about programs which I can share with all the educators, and they'll be more than happy to join you in your programs and become better. So further, we are talking about experiential learning, we are fund-based learning. So that is one thing that we have to be really careful. Is it screen-based education that we are imparting to the students? Students are looking at the screen and just keeping quiet without any response, and the teacher has fulfilled his or her duty of conducting a class. If it is screen-based education, I think it's high time to move from that to what NEP is suggesting, experiential learning. And we really have to rack our brains of how experiential learning and fun can be introduced in an online platform. That's a challenge. And I'm sure that in the coming days, you will also design programs where there can be collaboration and where experiential learning can be also in terms of an online platform. Also, we think about the different languages. India, as we were discussing, is a land of so many languages, and most of our programs probably are in English and probably some in Hindi sometimes. So the regional languages, I think this is a good move. I don't know whether you are going to introduce Bengali programs later on, but it's going to be amazing that if we can introduce regional content because NEP says that speak in their mother tongue. We have to encourage kids in their mother tongue. So if we have programs in our native languages, I think that's going to be great. It's going to be something very different, and it's going to be something which is going to get very popular in the regional areas when you are starting all these programs. And another very important tool that can be used is the virtual labs. Most of our students have not visited science labs, and therefore the learning of science has deteriorated to a certain extent. They are just copying down stuff without actually performing experiments. So I think this has been a great innovation in terms of technology in creating virtual labs for the students, where they can virtually visit a lab, mix two chemicals, see what is happening. So it's a great thing, and I think the digital divide which is existing right now because of expensive programs by certain organizations for students and teachers, it's not reachable. I don't want to name the organization, but there are many people who are selling courses at an exorbitant price, which makes it inaccessible for students and teachers to get that training. But when a platform like you or many other organizations who are giving it at a free of cost, or at least 80% of their programs are free of cost, a lot of content is available free of cost, I think that's a welcome move. So I want to congratulate you and on this venture, and at the same time invite all the educators to continually follow your page and follow your programs, and so that we can be enriched in our lives as educators and igniting young minds. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Matthew sir. And I must say that I have learned so much from you. Matthew sir was the reason I ended up getting into webinars in the first place. And StreamYard is something that I learned from Matthew sir, how to live stream program. So I'm really indebted to you. And yes, you're right. We need to reach out to the different parts of the country, especially in the different regional languages. And I do intend to have sessions in Bengali also, so that it helps the educators who are in West Bengal, in Kolkata, to understand Google tools and also use them in their classrooms to be better teachers. Right, moving on, we now have Ms. Ruchi Sanger, and she's a master trainer ELT, a CBSE resource person and author, and of course, a friend, philosopher and guide for me. Ruchi ma'am, over to you.
Thank you, Sudipta. Thank you very much. Very many congratulations. It's sort of doubled the celebration for me today, the Independence Day and then you. So, hey, great. So let me begin. Since English is my subject, let me begin with a quote of a popular 20th century writer and futurist, Alvin Toffler. I quote, "The illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn," unquote. This sort of resonates with what Matthew was talking about. So, yes. So classrooms today are different from the ones many of us have enjoyed in the past, right? We live in times filled with rapid changes. Technological advances are changing the way we live and learn. All this and more at the touch of a button. I mean, it completely puts me in awe every time. Naturally, this has impacted the teaching and learning practices in the 21st century, especially now. I think it presents both a challenge and an opportunity. The opportunity was an afterthought, especially so for the teaching of English in a country where there is a heavy L1 influence and fairly large number of first generation learners. So it falls to the teachers and schools then to provide the foundation on which all students, including the English learners, must build the academic and social competence needed for success in the 21st century. Matthew just talked about an example of the technological tools provided by the CBSE, the opportunities provided by the CBSE. So we are sort of walking the right path, while quite a few of our students have a substantial experience with computers, cell phones, the internet, and other digital technologies. There are several others who have little or no such experience at all, right? We know this. Teachers are now challenged to teach curriculum essentials in ways that are technologically current. Phew! Most of my peers, like me, okay, have groped their way into the light. I'm being very honest when I say that. Or I've kept it simple. Honestly, I've kept it very simple. Google is my favorite browser, and I simply love the Google Calendar. Well, it helps me manage my work schedules. As a teacher educator, I often have to share resource materials like handouts, like templates, exemplars. So I swear by the Google Docs, okay? The G slides for presentations and the Google Forms for recap or quizzes or feedback. Nothing very fancy, just the basic tools. As an author, collaboration and edits work wonderfully. We are the docs. It was Alice in Wonderland for me, because when I discovered all of this, everything became so simple, so easy. I could reach out to so many people. I've also come to understand the merit of YouTube videos, since we are talking technology and my subject. So especially the shorts for teaching and training. You see, the teaching of English, everybody knows, involves the LSRW skills, and using the YouTube videos and the shorts, especially like I talked, at the pre-teach stage of every skill has definitely yielded magical results. All right. I've recently used the Google Drawings to create a few personalized headers for some assignments I've shared. And can I say, I am feeling quite pleased with myself because they looked fabulous. Whether it's the Google folders, the docs, or the slides, I rely quite heavily on the templates. You know, we have the templates option that they offer for my work. I think it saves time. I think all my peers perhaps are already doing it. If they haven't, they should give it a go. And I dare say that it's wonderfully suited for the internal assessments and the project submissions by the students. The whole template, I mean, it reduces the work considerably, you know. So we need classrooms that empower our students with the opportunities to achieve all of the 21st century goals. And we need technology that provides the answers. It's quite simple, really. At this time, when a classroom is on screen and learning is across it. In my personal opinion, as teachers, we ought to bear in mind that the technologies we use in class are a means to an end, not the end in itself. This is really important. If chosen and used judiciously, they'd be a blessing, as we are already experiencing them to be. I'd like to conclude with the words of John Steinbeck. I couldn't resist. He wrote these words while recalling his favorite teacher. I quote, "In her classroom, our speculations ranged the world. She breathed curiosity into us so that each day we came with new questions, new ideas, cupped and shielded in our hands like captured fireflies. When she left us, we were sad, but the light did not go out. She had written her indelible signature on our minds. I have had lots of teachers who taught me soon forgotten things, but only a few who created in me a new energy, a new direction. I suppose I am the unwritten manuscript of such a person. What deathless power lies in the hands of such a teacher?" Unquote. So, Sudipta, I'm very, very sure that you are going to be a very powerful educator leading us into the light. So thank you very much. And congratulations once again.
Thank you so much. It was so wonderful to hear you, ma'am. So inspiring. And with mentors and educators all around me, like you, it's going to be a cakewalk when it comes to ensuring that educational and technology are integrated, not just on the online platform, but also when we go back to the offline mode. I hope and I'm sure that we will continue to ensure the learning that we have garnered over the past couple of months, we're able to integrate that and we are able to use technology in the best possible way. So thank you so much, Ruchi ma'am. It was absolutely wonderful listening to you. And moving on, now I would request Dr. Narjeet Kaur, founder and leader, GEG Punjab and Amritsar, to, say a few words.
First of all, congratulations, Sudipta. This is a huge leap, and I hope that we strengthen our community even more in the years to come, in the months to come. As Matthew sir rightly pointed, we are going to have, we are having, and we hope we have more than 2 or 3 launches every month, right? And with that, we will definitely, I will definitely like to talk about Google Workspace for education. As we know that Google Workspace for Education is a set of Google tools and services that are tailored for schools and home schools. Not very popular in India, a concept which is not very popular in India, but to collaborate, streamline instruction, and keep learning safe. Right there, Google Workspace for Education is available in many, many editions, including free and paid options. So if you have educators here who are actually thinking of going for Google Workspace, there is a free version also available. You just have to get in touch with the right people. You just have to write to them and they are going to get back to you. If you have a few specifications that they give you, if you have them, then you can have it for free. Within 14 days, you can have a Google Workspace for Education for your school. So please go and try to find more about that. And if you can get in touch with me as well if you want some more details on that. So there is Google Workspace for Education Fundamentals, which is a suite of tools that can help you increase opportunities for critical thinking, communication, collaboration, and creativity, all while supporting the learning objectives that we all have for our students. So these 4 skills, the 4 C's that we're talking about, are really essential for modern students to succeed in school and the workplace. They often make the biggest impact in terms of setting your students apart when applying for and starting their careers. So critical thinking, what is that? It's actually the practice of solving problems among many other qualities. So in addition to working through problem solving quizzes or similar activities, critical thinking also includes an element of skepticism, if I can say. This is an important 21st century skill because now it's harder than ever to verify accurate information, mostly thanks to internet. Critical thinking empowers students to discover the truth in assertions, especially when it comes to separating fact from opinion. So with critical thinking, I am repeating the words again and again with all these 4 C's because they are really, really important. So with that, students don't just learn a set of facts or figures. Instead, they learn how to discover the facts, figure things out for themselves. They ask questions. They become engaged. They help others also think critically. So this might be the most important part of critical thinking. Once the student has it mastered, it quickly spreads to its peers. So don't think that there are only 1 or 2 or they are picking up, rest will soon, right? So whether they learn how to think critically from spending time online or simply asking why. In everyday life, this skill prepares students for a life of independence and purposeful thought. The next we come to is creativity, which is the practice of, I call thinking outside the box. While creativity is often treated like a you have it or you do not kind of a quality, students can learn how to be creative by problem solving, by creating systems, or just by trying something that they haven't tried before. In one of my podcasts also, I had invited a guest and we were speaking on this term, like creativity is something that people think that if I'm not creative, I cannot do this or I cannot learn it. you can eventually imbibe this creativity. You have to know the ways, right? And thinking outside the box, thinking critically, gives encouragement to creativity. Now, that does not, when I talk about creativity or when I talk about critical thinking, that doesn't mean that every student is going to become an artist or a writer. Instead, it means that they will be able to look at the problem from multiple perspectives, including those that others may not see, and hence thinking outside the box, right? Creativity allows students to embrace their inner strengths, from big picture planning to meticulous organization. So as a student learns about their creativity, they'll also learn about how to express it in a healthy way, in a productive way, in a constructive way. And most importantly, they also become motivated to share that creativity with others. So just like critical thinking, um, I feel creativity is contagious. One student has it, and the student's going to spread it. It creates an interest, an innovation, an innovative approach to solution to a problem. And then when they share it, the next student is going to become inspired to try something similar. Collaboration is very, very important. The third skill is for the 4 C's is collaboration, the practice of working together to achieve a common goal, because the students or teachers also for that matter, all of us as fraternity, we realize it or not, we are working, we will always have to work with other people for the rest of our life. So we cannot, ignore this very important skill. Virtually every job requires someone to work with another person at some point, and even if it's for something as simple as what to get for lunch today, where to sit and eat together, a little gossip, a little chat here or there, but everybody needs that. So practicing collaboration, and trust me, I really thank Google for this collaboration kind of a thing, because it has got things easier for the educators, where I #work smart, not that hard. All right. We are hardworking teachers, have to work really, really hard. And a huge shout out to all the educators who've been doing that online or offline for all these years, online, especially for the last 1.5 years, because everybody wasn't skilled to go online that easy, that soon. But practicing collaboration has made us address a problem, pitch solutions, and decide the best course of action. So it's very helpful for them to learn that other people don't always have the same ideas as you do. Why only children? Adults also have to learn that the people do not always have the same ideas. So you have to accept the ideas, collaborate, practice collaboration more and more, and we will almost learn that none of the same ideas are going to benefit us. So we have a pool of ideas. We can have a bank of ideas with collaboration, right? As a teacher, it is very, very crucial for us to encourage students to look at themselves through that second lens. And the 4th C is communication, often taken for granted for today's society. After all, if you say something, that means you conveyed an idea, right? Not exactly. In this age of text-based communication, we have SMS, we have emails, we have social media. It's never more important. Has never been more important for the students to learn how to convey their ideas and their thoughts in a way that others can also understand. Me and Ruchi ma'am, in the morning we were talking about netiquettes. We have to have something about netiquettes working in our way, not only for the students, for the teachers also. So that is what communication brings to us. Now, all these were the 4 tools we were talking about. And when we come to Workspace tools, these tools are free, they are ad-free, they are reliable, and they are secure. They are already, in use by millions of students in schools around the world. Free is great, but the best thing is that these tools are relevant to students. They are relevant, they are easy to use, and they open doors to many new ways to learn. Google Workspace for Education Standard is a paid upgrade that includes everything, and there are other versions of Google as well, of and of those enterprises as well. You can definitely go and try and check it out for your school. To qualify for the Google Workspace for Education, you need to be K-12 school, higher education institution globally. They all are eligible for Google Workspace for education if they meet certain criteria, as I mentioned earlier as well. Right? The criteria like they have to be government recognized or formally accredited. You can find out more about that. So we here are talking about awesome Google tools. One of my favorites is Google Classroom, which is a collaboration tool for teachers and students that helps organize and streamline their classroom experience. Then we have Google Drive. Yesterday we talked about Google Drive in the day 1 or in the day 2 of the GCE level 2 bootcamp that we are running from India. So we talked about many of these tools. We talked about many of the tools, awesome tools like Google Docs or Sheets or Forms, Slides, Drawings, as Ruchi ma'am was just mentioning also how she got used to drawing. And I'm sure, Ruchi ma'am, your drawings must have been awesome. So additionally, these Google Workspace for Education fundamentally includes tools that can be used to save your time and increase student engagement. Tools like Gmail, Calendar, Meet, Sites, and Group. And finally, Google also has very many other tools outside of Google Workspace for Education fundamentals that can be used in the classroom, which you may be able to access with your Google username and password. They are consumer products actually, but they're not covered by Google Workspace for Education fundamental terms and policies and services like Chrome, YouTube, Blogger, Maps, Earth. All of them are there. Google Maps, Google Earth, right? So there are so many things to learn about Google. There are so many awesome tools that Google is helping ourselves with. We are getting help from Google in a lot of ways. And yeah, so we have an awesome workspace, and I hope that we are going to go great guns in the future as well. And Google is going to give us more awesome features, and we are going to see awesome rollouts also in the future. Yeah. So yeah, that's all for Google Workspace that I have from here. Over to you, Sudhita.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing all that. And Dr. Narjeet, I have to thank you. You're the reason that I decided to take this up, and for encouraging me and for also nominating me as a GEG leader. And yes, so you've really opened the doors for a different type of a vision that I now have, and I hope I'm able to realize that. And I'm sure with the support that I have from all of you, from educators all over the world, I hope to realize that. So thank you so much. And so quickly, since Dr. Narjeet has talked about Google Workspace, that's got me a little excited. And why don't I quickly show you a Google tool that can be easily used in the classroom. So I'm going to now share my screen, full screen.
And Sudipta, before that, we can welcome Gary, who has joined us. Gary?
Yes. Hello, Gary. Good to see you.
Hello,
and thank you
good
so much for
evening.
joining.
Yes, it's my honor to be invited here, and it's good to connect with all the educators around the globe, especially with GEG Kolkata. Good evening,
Thank
everyone.
you. A pleasure. I'm so glad that you could make it. We were wondering if you would be able to catch up on the live StreamYard, but absolutely
Yeah, I'm
wonderful
happy
to see
to
you
be here.
Thank you. Thank you. Right, so I'm just going to quickly share my screen. I think it's visible now. So yes, I'm just going to quickly open a new tab. The easiest way to access Google Slides is if you can simply type, well, slides.google.com. And the other way to access it is, of course, through your inbox. I already have that open. So either you access it through the waffle here on the right-hand side. So you just need to scroll down and you will get the option of slides here. So you can access slides from here. Or you can simply go to Drive. And you can also access Google Slides from here. So the button on the left that says New, you need to click on that. and it'll give you a lot of prompts, and one of them is Google Slides. So let's just get into one blank presentation. So as you can see, the minute it opens up on the right-hand corner, you will be given a couple of themes. So you can select, or you can even modify it based on how you'd like to showcase your slides. So let's go with blue maybe. I hope you're not feeling blue, but let's go with that color. It's a lovely color. Right, so now we can decide what we would like to tell our students. If it's a collaboration that you'd like in the classroom, you could perhaps give them some instructions which become the first slide, instructions which the students can read in detail. And of course, I'm just aligning it in the center. And as you can see, you can also use the plus sign here for a new slide, or you can even click on slide and either click on new slide, or you also have the option of duplicating it. So one of the things that I like doing in the classroom is I like showing them videos. So especially for a collaborative project or work, you can simply click on insert and go to video. The minute you click on video, you get three options. So either you can search on YouTube by URL. So if you've already identified a video that you would like to show in class, you can simply copy paste the link. Or if you have any videos saved in your Google Drive, you can do that too. So I Googled and I found something on Mahatma Gandhi. And these are just the famous quotes which I'd like to show them in class. So all I do is I just simply copy. I go back to my presentation and I just simply paste. And it's going to give me the prompt. So I select and it gets added, embedded into the slide. So I also have the option of making it full screen if I'd like to cover the entire area. So as you can see, I have the option of doing that too. So when I'm showing them in class, when I'm presenting my screen, it's going to show a full screen and you get to see the entire video. On the right-hand panel, you also have a couple of these very cool options. So you can choose if you would like to start the video. Maybe you don't want to show them the first two quotations, you want to show them something else. So you can choose the start timing. And you can also choose at what time you'd like the video to end. That's, I think, a very important and an effective tool for teachers, because not always do we want to show them the entire video in class. So this, of course, is an option that's given to us as educators. But if it's a short video, like the one that I've chosen is just about, say, 2 minutes, it's just easy to show them a 2-minute video in the classroom. So that's one thing. And the other thing that I like to do is, okay, so I go to a new slide, and I would like them to read a little bit about the lesson Indigo. So we teach them the lesson Indigo, which is in the class 12 syllabus. And I already have this opened here. This is the actual text which is there in the NCERT. So what I'd like to do is, instead of having the presentation too cluttered, I simply copy this link. I go back to my slide. And I can simply tell them, okay, so I say click here, okay? And let me just show you how I'm linking it. So I click on this button here, which says insert link. I click on this. It immediately gives me a prompt. So I copy paste. I've already copied it, so I'm just simply pasting the link. And I say apply. So as you see, when the student comes to this particular slide, they have this link. And the minute they click here, it's going to automatically take them to the text that I'd wanted them to read. So these are very effective tools for educators to use in the classroom. And I feel these are fantastic for collaboration. The other thing that you need to do, if you are sharing this with your students in the classroom, of course, you give it a title. It could be group work. And one thing that you need to remember is you need to change the settings. Like at the moment, if you see top right corner, the share, it's private to me only. So I changed the settings. As you can see, it says restricted. So I change this to anyone with the link. And then I change the settings to editor and click on done. Now, as you can see, this icon here is also changed, right? You can see this icon here. And now when I copy this link and I share it with my students, perhaps in a Google Meet, all students would be able to access it and would be able to do an easy job of it. So I thought I will quickly discuss Google Slides and how I go about Google Slides in the classroom. Right, so coming back, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And back to the presentation. So next, I'm going to actually call upon someone who's come from the Philippines. And I'm just sharing my screen. Just give me a moment. Right. So welcome, Man, and it's so lovely to have you here. So I connected with Man when she'd organized the GEG APAC weekend, and that was an that was a fantastic experience for me because I got to deal with tools and I could show people tools online, and it was just fascinating. So thank you so much for giving me that opportunity. Over to you.
That was a pleasure. That was really a pleasure to have you. Nate and I even said that while you were presenting, you're such a cool cucumber because even when it wasn't going so well, which is, how it is sometimes in our classes, there was, I think, one of your add-ons was not working as much as you wanted to, but you were able to find a workaround. And I think that's really the beauty of being able to present live, to be able to show others how you can work around also particular problems that you have with education technology. All right. So I was invited here actually by Sudipta to talk about certifications. Let me just share my screen for a bit. All right. So if you can include it in the presentation so that I can toggle it to take a look, that'll be great. Wonderful. All right. So hi. So I am Mandy Guzman. I'm a GEG leader from GEG Ortigas. I'm also the Learn Captain for GEG Philippines and a Google certified trainer. Now, one of the things that we want to be able to espouse in our GEGs is that every educator should try to have a certification. Okay, so for Google, especially if you're using it in the platform, I'll talk a little bit about why is that so important. I call certifications like this or badges as micro certifications. As educators, a lot of us really try to get further studies, graduate studies. Most of us hold master's degrees, for example. For a lot of us, also doctorates. And those are the macro certifications, the one that we know is important because as teachers, we are also learners. But really, I think, and this is also my journey as an educator as well, when the pandemic forced us to go online, it became necessary for us to equip ourselves so quickly, really just to be able to upskill. And really, for me, my journey into becoming a Google certified educator just started when the pandemic did. That's really something that most of us, I think, actually experience as well. Okay, so for Google certified educators, there are different levels of certification. And the first one, of course, is a GCE level 1, and then followed by GCE level 2, which eventually leads you to different paths in the Google certifications. I'll talk about the first two, and I think Nate will be talking about the Innovator program, and I'll talk about very quickly what the trainer program does as well. Okay, let's start. So for the GCE level 1, this is where everyone starts, really. What we need to do, what it does actually, is that it earning it demonstrates mastery of the Google tools. So what Sudipta has shown you is just one of the things that is part of the GCE level 1 experience. Being able to learn how to do all of those things, how to use the Google Workspace for education to your advantage into your classroom. Now, the GCE level 1, if you have been using, let's say, Google Workspace, even at the fundamentals level, we're pretty sure that you have the basics down pat already to earn the GCE level 1 badge. So why is micro certifications very important to us? It's important to us because, as I said, it demonstrates your mastery of the Google tools and it gives you that confidence, really knowing that you know what to do. when you are in the classroom and using the tools. Also, and I think that's for everyone here in the panel, discovering the things that you can do in the tools just gives you that thrill. It's the learner in you that says, I can do this. It suddenly made it possible. For me, when almost everyone in my school began their journey with level one, for us, it was so empowering to see that it was possible for us to actually translate our classroom into an online platform. I think for a lot of us educators that are listening out there, that was the initial challenge. How do I do this? Okay, but in our journey of learning and getting our badges, we realize that there are many ways that we can translate what we do in a classroom and an online platform using the Google Workspace for Education. That's what micro certifications does. And the GCE Level 1 badge tells everyone, you can add it to your email signature, for example, that you have a mastery of the Google tools. Now, the practical side of that, of course, to earn a badge, you need to pass a test. Okay, so that's the GCE Level 1 test. It's a combination of multiple choice. And then after that, there's a demonstration of skills. It's about 180 minutes, so 3 hours. You can finish earlier if you're quick, but you only have 3 hours maximum. So it will stop immediately. And it's about, 10 US dollars. Okay. So what do you need to do to prepare? So as I said, I'm just going to put some notes in there to prepare. What you need to prepare for the GCE level one is really just the practice. There are lots of boot camps. I know Sudipta was part of a level two boot camp, I think yesterday. Yeah. And I know there are many GEGs in India that have started the boot camp, which is wonderful. There's also one in GEG Global that's conducted in English if you're interested in that. And all of that is conducted on YouTube if you're interested, on following alone a course like that. But most of the time, what I always say is that, and this is my experience really, because those boot camps weren't around when I took it. I just went to the teacher center. Okay, I'll show the link later there. But the teacher center here, you can look at certifications. So that's teacher center, edu.google/teacher center. You'll be taken to this language page and landing page. And if you go to certifications, you will see that there is an educator level one and an educator level two. So all you have to do is click that, and it will take you to an online course actually. You can either register or you can actually review. There's a massive online course that's part of the teacher center. So the resources over here where you can actually learn, you can actually prepare for the GCE level one. So those are one of the things that you can do to make preparations. But if you're a user already, I can tell you that a lot of the things that are needed for the test, you probably know. So you just have to make sure that you take a look at what is needed in the test and prepare accordingly. Um, a lot of it is really how you use it in the classroom. So it's really important that you try to practice before that. But it's really wonderful for you to also discover all the other things that you can do. I think for a lot of the teachers that I work with, their journey for the GCE level one was also an eye opener for them of what they can do in the classroom in terms of all the tools that are available for us. After the GCE level one badge, most educators take a GCE level two. Now, earning the GCE level two badge really validates your expertise. It's a really different level in advanced technology integration skills. You will be using the workspace in a lot of the in-depth, a lot of like one of my favorites will be Sheets. It's one of my favorites because it made record books easier for a lot of teachers. Everything became electronic. It also gave me the ability to send report cards online automatically. So those are some of the things that you will learn when you really go for your GCE level two badge. And so it made things a lot easier and efficient. I know Dr. Narjit, for example, earlier talked about collaboration and the ability of many people to edit a particular sheet, for example, or a particular doc makes it so much easier to work. It's as if that, brainstorming can happen in a Google document together with the Google Meet. And so those things are things that you will learn when you get your GCE level two. Now, to earn the badge, you need to pass the GCE level 2 test. Again, it's multiple choice with demonstration of skills. So that's about 25 US dollars, and again, 3 hours in order for you to 180 minutes in order for you to pass the test. Similar for the preparation, you can go to the teacher center and you can look at educator level 2. Now, there's a massive online course that I know is available for everyone that is free, and you can do that. You just follow the steps here in the teacher center, and you'll be able to take the test already. So that's one of the best resource I think that I had is really the teacher center when I was preparing for my level 2. Now, getting your GCE level 1 and GCE level 2, rather getting your GCE level 2 actually is a stepping stone for all the other programs that Google for Education has. So one of the slide that I showed you earlier, this particular slide, shows you that when you get your level 2, the other programs become open for you. So that's the GCE Certified Trainer Program, the Certified Coach Program, and the Certified Innovator Program. Really, for GCE certified trainer, it's a different preparation. For each, actually, it's a different preparation. When I started to be a trainer, this was asked of me when I presented in the EduTech in the Philippines, why I decided to be a trainer, and I told them it was really for my teachers. I wanted them to have that confidence that, okay, I have someone I can ask within the school that can tell me if I am in a if I am in a I have to overcome a hardship, let's say, for in any of the Google tools. And that has been very useful, I think, in terms of empowering my teachers to know they have someone to ask. So I encourage everyone, not just administrators or those in school leadership, but teachers as well, to be certified trainers. It's normal for us, actually. It's so natural for us to be trainers. We do it every day when we go into the classroom. We're actually training kids. And so all you have to do is translate that into really training adults. And it's given me such a pleasure to be able to help other teachers. Also, I think that one of the things that opened up to me with being a Google educator is the idea of GEGs. Right. I know GEG Kolkata is being launched now, but back in the Philippines, for example, where I am, when I joined GEG Ortigas, it just increased my personal learning network like 10,000 fold. I cannot tell you how much I've learned from all the educators that I have met, not just with not just with the Google tools, but also educational technology in general. So I was able to exchange ideas with others. We was able to help others in the process as well. And really now, every time I have a question, the first group that I throw that into is my GEG group. I have this question. What do you guys do? And they will have like everyone will just be sharing all the answers or the things that they will be doing in their schools. There's also a certified trainer group. If you're become a certified trainer, each one has their micro groups that you can join and ask questions in. And really that has been very fulfilling for me to a degree because it allowed me that tribe where everyone is just like-minded individuals. No one was keeping information from anyone. Everyone was just willing to help you. So as long as you put yourself out there, you'll be able to find the answer to any question that you have. Okay, so the certified coach is very similar to the trainer. I will tell you now, of course, for both trainer and coach, it will take some time. It will take time because there's a lot of material that needs to be gathered in order for you to apply to the program. I'll reserve the innovator because I know Nate is going to talk about that. But generally, I encourage all educators to try to get their badges and really, save up for it if you have to, but really try to get to at least the level 2. And once you're there, you can start thinking which other programs is really right up your angle. Like if you don't like training lots of people at the same time, maybe the coach is the one for you because that demands some one-on-one time with the teachers. And really, you will find yourself really being empowered, just empowering others. That spirit or that energy that is built by helping others just helps you be a really great educator as well. So I hope that I've been able to present certifications for you, and I guess I'll turn you over to Nathan Sudipta to talk about the Innovator program. Have a good evening, everyone.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That really put things into perspective. And yes, after having done the Google certified level 1, I mean, I'm really looking forward to clearing level 2. And you're right, the personal learning network that we create and the community that we've built, it's really inspiring. And the little hacks that you learn every day, that's so much fun. So I look forward to learning so much more from everyone around me. So thank you. And moving on, I'm going to again share my screen. Just give me a moment so that I can introduce our next guest, a very special guest, I must say. And that happens to be Nate, who's joining in from Japan. And Nate, thank you so much for joining in, and thank you for being such an inspiring educator. I remember attending the session that you took on Google Earth, and I felt like using that in my classroom and showing them the world around through the virtual world. So thank you so much, and over to you.
Thanks a lot, Sudipta. Yeah, that's the joy of this exploration we're going through. You dig a little bit and you find all these cool things that you're like, oh, I can do that. I can do that. It's wonderful. But before I talk, begin, again, congratulations, Sudipta and GEG Kolkata for your launch. It's been happening fast. We met about 6 weeks ago. And yeah, you're very impressive. So kudos to you, actually. You're quickly getting into the Google universe, right? So thank you for having me. I feel very privileged to be here. So everyone, just very quickly, my name's Nate. I am one of the 3 leaders for GEG Nagoya. I did found it. I founded the first Google Educator group in Japan about 7 years ago in 2014 in Tokyo. So this is my second GEG, actually. I'm a Google for Education certified trainer, innovator, GEG leader, and like Gary, who you'll meet, a mentor for Asia Pacific. My background is in political science and history, as well as education, and I have a master's in educational leadership. I teach in an IB school where I teach history and individuals and societies, which is kind of like social studies. So I'm going to share my screen now, if that's okay. Feel free to reach out to me anytime. I should have put my Twitter hashtag in there. I'll put that in the chat, in the comments in a little bit. So let me just open this up here. And I'm going to turn on my timer here because I'm going to try to keep this to 5 seconds. Little pro tip, when you're sharing your screen, folks, down here with Google Slides, you can click hide. And that way, that little hide bar is going to go out. And then you can rock and roll. I'm going to very quickly go through a few slides. And then, like Mon did, navigate through the Innovator, how you become an innovator in the Google Teacher Center. So let me just quickly go through this. Okay, so you're probably thinking, what is the Innovator program? I feel it's a very important program within the Google universe for teachers because you get level 1, level 2, and then you have these options, innovator, coach, and trainer. And I do recommend becoming an innovator before you become a trainer or a coach. You can do it in any order you want, but the Innovator program is a nice bridge to kind of slowly get into the more complicated, not complicated, but time-consuming or demanding, perhaps, certifications. But the Virtual Innovator Academy. Now, I've been doing Google stuff since 2008, so about 13 years now. And I became an innovator when it was called the Google Teacher Academy in 2013. And so what happens usually is in a face-to-face environment, you have to apply. And then if you're accepted, you have to fly somewhere if it's not in your country. I had to go to Australia for a few days. And it was a great experience. Now, because of the pandemic, it's virtual. And an example I'll show you of some videos later. I'm not going to show the videos, but show you a resource. The last academy in 2020 was a virtual academy. So they had more people than usual. Usually an Innovator Academy, they do it about 6 times a year in 6 different parts of the world. And they only choose about 36 people. And there is a process for innovators like myself that we vet the people that apply. And sometimes we have up to 1,000 applications. So I do encourage you, if you have Google Certified Educator Level 1, get Level 2 really quickly, and then maybe consider applying for to be an innovator. If you don't get it the first time, that's completely fine. You'll have that experience from the first process, right? And you have a lot of people that can help you with your applications, including myself and Gary, for example. The Virtual Innovator, the Innovator Academy, basically, it's a community of educators that have advanced Google skills. If you're accepted into the program, become an innovator. It's just a great opportunity. It's an online academy because of the pandemic. And again, you're selected. So what's special this year is that it's only in APAC. I'll talk about that in a minute. But essentially, you apply with a project idea. And your project should not have a solution. You should, interview people, think about what's a problem in my local area. It could be a more, a bigger problem like within India, for example, or even something you want to do globally. But locally is great because you can interview several people at your school and say, what do you think we need to do here at the school? And it doesn't have to be about technology. It could be, we're not very good at differentiated learning, or we're not very good at communicating with parents. Think not just technology, think education, because the technology will support your project, right? The point is not to be I mean, obviously you have advanced skills if you become an innovator. So, think big. So you have to suggest a project. You're proposing a project, and it's theme-based, it's user-focused, right? I've got a little link here you can check later. When you're accepted to the program, then, if you become an innovator, then you work on your project for a while. And this is basically the program. You apply, you get accepted. This year, it's very special because there's no Innovator Academy outside of Asia, which means there's fewer people applying, and you've got like a nice local time zone. People in Australia got that sorted for us, so thank them. It's entirely online for 8 weeks. It's about 3 hours a week of live sessions. And then you do an academy where you have a mentor, like people like Gary and myself, and you meet once a month and you kind of talk about how the project's going. On the right side here, you can see the countries where this is going to be happening, which of course includes India, right? So again, focus on a local education issue. That's my recommendation, right? It's an opportunity for you to help other people, and it's an opportunity for you to grow your professional learning network, like Mon had said. And for me, the big thing is I've met so many interesting people since I became, an innovator like 8 years ago, right? And it's just a good opportunity to grow yourself. You can model problem solving because you're looking for a problem. You're not creating a problem. You're hearing people. You interview people in your area and say, what needs to be solved here? What's a problem? And then you come up with ideas for a solution, right? I know I'm hitting 5 minutes here, so I'll try to go quickly. You can become globally minded. That's an important thing. When you grow that PLN, you meet so many people around the world that you start to understand how to work with people in other cultures. That's been a joy for me with the Google Educator group, groups in Asia Pacific. Of course, you build your ed tech skills and your leadership skills, and there's a lot of opportunities to grow. So you complete level 1 and level 2 as a Google certified educator. You must do both. You identify a challenge in a project, like I said, and your application, you have to explain what it is. Is it a transformational project? Is it a change project? Change and transformation are a little bit different, right? You have to click create a 90-second video, and I'll show you very quickly in a moment. And then you complete the application, right? So level 1 and 2, come up with your idea by asking people, hey, what needs to be fixed here? What are you worried about or concerned about? And then create a video. Doesn't have to be too complicated, and then complete the application. My tips for this: take your time, get feedback on your project, especially the video and the text you put in. Create a good video. It doesn't have to be a big production, and be yourself. Don't pretend that you've got a great Twitter feed. You put loads of stuff on Twitter. When we evaluate the applications, if somebody's been on Twitter for a month when they apply and they're just retweeting a bunch of times, we can see through that, right? Now, the application deadline for this special one in Asia is September 17th, 12 p.m. AEST. We'll show you how to apply in a moment. Oh, sorry, there's Gary. I love you. Let me just kind of jump out here. Now, first off, when you're coming up with your project, you do have resources here for design thinking. I'm not going to go through this slide deck, of course, but I want to let you know that, here is something that's going to help you kind of think of what should my, what problem exists around me. You do not come up with a solution, because you do that at the academy and over the 8 months with your mentor. So very quickly, Mon showed you the Teacher Center in Google for Education. So you can scroll down and there's a whole bunch of things you can look at here. Maybe Mon or Gary, you can pop this in the chat if you want. So the Academy, of course, is VIA21, hashtag VIA21. Use that on Twitter. Google's very big on Twitter. Here, it gives you, a place to go to do the modules for the Google Certified Educator 1 and 2. I recommend you do the modules, please. You don't have to take all the notes in that. I do myself, even when I renew. Identify your challenge, and you'll learn about the process here. And this will help you about with the process. But if you go to this source, it'll take you to some Google Docs where a few innovators, it gives you examples of the kinds of things you should be thinking about in typing, and then, of course, apply before the deadline. If you have GCE 1, I highly recommend you try to get GCE 2 in the next maybe week or two, and then start applying, because you only have about a month. I do want to show you, and I'll pop these in the chat later, the comments, that is. Here are some videos from last year's virtual academy, and they're all 90 seconds long. And if you notice, there are a few people that they have like a very simple selfie kind of video where they're taking them, their video, and then they're talking. Others, they have more production. Make sure your audio and your video is good, and make sure you're very focused and clear. It does not have to be a big production, right? So take your time. And if you get level 2, you apply this time again. If you don't get it the first time, I'm going to stop sharing my screen here because I'm kind of done with that. If you don't get it the first time, apply again. Because many people apply once and they don't get in and they apply again. That's completely fine, right? I mean, that's what we should model for our students. Oh, I really want to do this and I didn't get it, but I'm going to try again and use what I did last time and learn from it, right? And again, there's lots of Google for Education certified innovators around to help. So I'll leave it at that. And good luck and reach out. I'm Nathan Gildart. On Twitter at Nathan Gildart. So please reach out if you have any questions. All right. And thank you very much again, Sudipta, and everyone. Happy Independence Day and congratulations, GEG Kolkata.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It was absolutely wonderful having you and explaining the entire process to us. I think a lot of people out there are really encouraged. And I know Ritu Bhandari is right there and she is looking forward to clearing level 2 along with me. So, yep. And moving on, I'm just going to quickly share my screen and invite our next guest. And our next guest, well, someone special. And I'm so delighted that he decided to join us today. I'm just quickly going to add him here. And that's Gary Garcia, GEG Mentor APAC. Gary, over to you. I'd let you introduce yourself to the audience. You're on mute, Gary.
Great. Thank you so much, Dita. Thank you for bearing with me. I'm Gary Garcia. I'm from the Philippines. I'm a GEG Ortigas leader. I joined GEG since 2015. So I become an innovator last 2014 and a trainer last 2019. So I'm a Google certified innovator, a trainer also, a GEG leader for Ortigas with Maan. I'm also, same with Nate, a GEG APAC mentor. And I've been an innovator coach for SEA 19 and VIA 20. So as Nate mentioned, we highly encourage you to be part of VIA 21 because you have a bigger chance of getting in because those who will be accepted are from the APAC region only. Okay, so let me talk about why get Google certification. Why do you need to get level 1? Why do you need to get level 2? Why become an innovator or a trainer or a coach? There are so many benefits of being Google certified. The first one is you get updates of the Google tools ahead of time. That's the best thing to know what's coming in. You'll get updates ahead of time. Also, you get trained by experts. We as trainers, as innovators, as coaches, we are being trained by those who made the updates. So we are invited quarterly to attend trainings, and that's the best part of learning. You learn from every quarter, so it's also for free. Also, you become a part of a family, a great community with the same interest. So what's good about being part of a family or a community is that you learn from them. You gain experiences or you learn from their experiences, and then maybe sometime if you encounter the same situation, you know how to address things. So becoming part of a community is definitely a good plus when you get certified. So at the same time, when you become a part of a community, you grow your professional learning network, as mentioned by Nate and Man earlier. So as I mentioned, you learn from fellow educators, which is the best because I am not limited anymore with the practices that we have here in the Philippines, but I also learn from the practices by different educators around the globe, not only here in the Philippines. So imagine that. Another thing is, this is one of the best part. You have perks, especially for trainers. We get premium accounts for free. So that's one of the benefits of being Google certified. Also, you get invited to exclusive Google events. So for example, Nate, we saw each other in person in Singapore because we were invited by Google to be there to be part of the GEG Leader Summit last 2016. So, Nate, how many times have we met in person? I think in Manila, in Singapore, and in Japan. So I think thrice, but it's a good way to connect with fellow educators because you gain new friends with the same interest. So this is what I like about being with Google because we have Google gave a path for all educators that makes you a better person and make you a better educator. So Sudita, that's what I can give to our audience. So congratulations again for having GEG Kolkata, and connect. I hope to connect with you more.
Thank you so much. That's absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much for joining in, and I'm just delighted that you could be part of the live streaming of GEG Kolkata. And
I'm happy
moving
to
on,
be here.
thank you so much. I'm going to quickly ask, well, I'm just going to add everybody to the stream. And so if there are any closing remarks or anything else that you would like to share with the audience, please go ahead. Ruchi ma'am, we will begin with you.
Well, I simply loved what Man and Gary mentioned about reaching out, creating families, establishing relationships. That's very empowering to my mind. You know, it works beautifully. We need it, especially during these times. If we have that connect with others, it's brilliant. And if this platform lends itself, lends this particular opportunity to others, I think for that reason alone, it's worth it. Everything else is an add-on, actually. Also, G for Guru and G for Google. Congrats, Sudipta.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your motivating words. It just takes me onto a different level altogether. Man, over to you. Thank you.
So thank you once again to Deepta for having us here. It's really wonderful to be able to share. I think one of the things that's amazing for me being part of a GEG or being part a Google certified educator is that before when we do trainings, it was really just here in the Philippines, or if you're invited abroad, if you're lucky enough to do that, then you can. But now the geographical boundaries are not boundaries at all. You can actually go anywhere in the world and share what it is that you know. And I think that's the wonderful thing about GEGs and being able to do that. So once again, happy Independence Day to everyone in India, and I'm happy to be here. Have a good evening, everyone.
Thank you so much. And I think that's one thing I'm really looking forward to, collaborating with people all over the world, which I think now it's possible. And, like they say, it's just a click away. So you just need to reach out to people. And, well, I have so many educators that I'd like to reach out to. Right. So over to you, Nate.
Had to unmute there. It wasn't unmuting for me. Thank you again, for having me. Congratulations on the launch for GEG Kolkata, and again, happy Independence Day. I'm just going to reiterate what I'd mentioned before, and we've kind of heard echoed here, is that you meet so many interesting people with so many good ideas, and the community of sharing. I mean, we live in a sharing economy in education, right? And all these Google tools, and you name it, Google tools and other, applications, it just allows us to reach out to other people, become better teachers, but also become better people, right? Just by meeting these different people and engaging with other cultures and languages. It's just a wonderful opportunity. I will say too, what I love about Google and their education program is that, if you're a book creator ambassador, an ADE, or, Microsoft certified or Microsoft innovative educator, Google loves that. They see that as, you are skilled, that's a good thing. It's you bring this to our community. So it's a great program. You meet wonderful people, and again, build those relationships. Your PLN, that's what a relationship is, right? So good luck, everyone. I encourage you to jump in head first. You'll be safe, trust me.
Thank you. And I actually see that change in me after having cleared the first level. I am feeling a lot more confident. So when I walk into my class virtually, it just I'm just so much more confident, and I'm sure I can incorporate different tools and make the experience all the more interesting for my students. Right. Thank you, Nate. Over to you, Gary.
Okay. So congratulations again, and good luck. And we're here for you to help you with anything that you need, if you need help. So what I learned, one of the things I learned with Google is that it's okay to fail. So it's okay to commit mistakes. So I become more confident when I heard that. So now I am more risk taker. I become more confident. So which is good because I also tell it to my students. It's okay to fail at first, but because with the failure we learn from it. So that's the best one of the best lessons that I can say. And it's good to have Nate and Man here as growing your PLN. So I hope to see everyone again soon in person, and congratulations again, Sudipta, and to GEG
Thank you.
Kolkata.
Thank you so much. And you're absolutely right. I think I've become a risk taker and I'm willing to take that risk. And I know I might just falter somewhere and I might not be able to succeed every time, but I'm sure I'm going to, get up once again and move on with all the encouragement and all the support that I have. So thank you so much for joining. I'm just going to quickly share my screen once again and show the audience a couple of links that are important, and they can definitely join GEG Kolkata. And thank you so much for joining me today. I'm just going to quickly give the word of thanks. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's just made my launch all the more special having you all here. In spite of all the time differences, in spite of vaccination doses, well, in spite of the fact that as educators, we really have our hands full when it comes to preparing for our classroom sessions and preparing webinars. And I know as educators, we are the ones who are working 24/7. So we don't really have a concept of a weekend. So thank you so much for joining in on a Sunday, and thank you for making Independence Day all the more special. Republic Day is on the 26th of January. I'm going to have another session perhaps on that day. All right, so thank you so much for joining in, and this is me saying bye-bye, and thank you for tuning in.